so here, vibes.
Hey lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's video of Life Abroad, the first ever episode, we have a special guest in the house. Auntie Kelechi.
I
We
beg,
have
I beg.
Kelechi
Don't call me
in the
Auntie
building.
Kelechi, please.
Let's take away the auntie.
Remove the
We have
auntie,
Kelechi
please.
in the building. I'll just let you introduce yourself to my followers and
Alright.
viewers.
Okay, thank you. Hi guys, my name is Kelechi and I'm an immigrant living in Germany. Been here for 5 years and counting. And I actually migrated to Germany because of to further my education to do my master's program. So yes, I completed my master's program um, in Münster last 2 years or last year. I can't remember which one it is, but I think it was 2 years ago. Yes, last 2 years. So yes, and I'm a digital marketer by profession and a content creator when I'm not doing work stuff. So yeah, that's the little about me. And I come originally from Nigeria, just like Salary or Success Salary here. So yes, I mean for my name you should tell, right? So yeah. And
True,
yeah,
true, sure.
okay, before I
Thanks
forget,
for
I
coming.
have a YouTube channel. I forgot to mention that I'm a content creator, yes, and I have a YouTube channel where I share videos around life in Germany, and there's going to be also some expansion around Europe as well. So if that's your kind of vibe, then you might want to be a member of our community. So yeah, that's what's up.
So, guys, follow her on YouTube, follow her on Instagram. The links to her profiles will be in the description box down below and also on the screen. So, you just click somewhere here to follow her. Thanks for coming on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. So, let me just say, in 2 sentences, just let us know how is Germany treating you. Just think about, Germany, how is it treating you?
Sentences you say, okay.
Hmm.
To be very honest, okay, like being very honest, I wouldn't want to be one of those people that would be feeling a certain way and come out and say something else, right? Germany has been really fair to me. I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
you know.
Fair.
Um, Germany has been fair to me, like so far, so far so good. If that works, really, so far so good. It's been chill for the most part, you know. By God's grace, there hasn't been that bump or bumpy ride. It's been really chill in the past 5 years of my
Yeah.
residence in Germany. So yeah, Germany has been good to me. Can't complain. Can't be glad.
Last week. Right. Nice, nice, nice. So, you did mention that you came to Germany to further your studies and you did your master program. Do you want to tell us how the whole process was? Just a quick, like, how did
Hmm.
you move, the visa process? How was it?
Okay. Yeah, well, 5 years ago, the visa process in Nigeria was a lot easier than it is currently. Okay,
Mhm.
I mean, the very first thing I did was, of course, to get my admission. After I secured an admission, then I went into looking for ensuring that my proof of funds was complete because that one is like a major part of the whole process, right? And then went on to look for an appointment at the embassy in Nigeria, which was, I mean, I got it in 2 weeks of my application, you know, so it
Mhm.
was pretty straightforward. Went with my documents to the embassy, did my interview, and in less than 6 weeks, so about 6 weeks, I got my feedback. So the process was a lot easier, a lot straightforward than we have it currently. And yeah, I traveled over here and the journey through the master's degree program. Okay, first of all, when I left Nigeria, I left with a bachelor's degree admission because when I was trying to make applications for my master degree program, then my transcript of records from my bachelor's in Nigeria wasn't available at the time. And so I applied for a bachelor's degree admission, which was like a conditional offer of admission, considering that it was in Deutsch. So I was expected to come to Germany and do up to a B2 German write the Prüfung into that, and either TELC or the others like DFA and all that before I start the program. That was the plan. So when I came here, I leveraged on that opportunity and studied German for almost 1 year before COVID broke out. Then during that process, I was also looking for admissions, and then I found an admission in a master's degree for a master's degree program, and then I did a
Mhm.
switch. So yeah, moving on. I mean, starting out first off, I had my fair share of culture shock academically, considering that what just a week after our introduction, COVID struck. So normally people
Mhm.
have challenges navigating school, like especially when they come from a different clime. Like for example, you're coming from Africa or Nigeria to a country like Germany, you will definitely see some major differences in the academic system, right? So
Yes.
people have that challenge when they're even studying physically. So imagine how complex or how worse it was for those of us who were studying online. I like to call us the COVID set. So studying online during COVID, it was not funny because you're trying to navigate stuff. Your communication with people is solely via the screen. It was hard. It was easy. That's not system of learning that we were used to back home. And then again,
Mhm.
considering that back home, the the education system is what it is really. Like you're literally almost unfed, so to say. But over here,
Mhm.
you have to do it yourself a lot of times.
Yes.
It's more hands on. You know, if I start to talk about the differences between the both
Lots.
studies, education systems, we're going to take all day. But the point here is that I had my fair share of the shocks, but
Mhm.
thankfully, I was able to navigate the whole process, considering that I had friends who were here before me. So they told me the best way, look, if you want to make good grades and not break down, considering that you have to work, you have to learn German, you have to do your schoolwork, the best way to go about it is not to take all the courses at once. So try to
Mhm.
break it down. Maybe take 2 courses per semester and then move it to the next summer or the next winter. That way you will be sane. You get
Mhm.
so that was one thing that helped me through it all. If not, I would have broken down. I would have had bad grades, but I had really great grades at the end of my study period, thanks
Yeah.
to that piece of advice that I heeded. Right. So yeah, generally it wasn't easy in the beginning, but I was able to find my way through the three. That's why I did my master's for 3 years instead of 2 years. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much how it was for me.
I can actually relate to like the whole picture of studying in Germany and studying in Nigeria as a case study, like the whole difference. Because even like in primary school, for example, you're already being taught how to present in a congregation, how to do some certain stuff that you might not be taught in Nigeria. So the whole process is there's a huge difference there, and also balancing school and work. Like I work full time currently and I'm studying part time as well. And for me the balance is it's difficult. And then on top of that, having to learn German, I can only imagine the stress that you had to go through.
That was
But
crazy.
if I'm allowed to ask, would you do that again? And if yes, will it be in Germany or would you say, oh, I'll prefer to do it in a different country?
Well, to be honest, with the knowledge and experience that I have now, I don't mind. I could do that again,
Mhm.
right? Especially considering the fact that I
Mhm.
know the tricks, I know the ins and outs now, so I will be better informed if I had to do that again.
Mhm.
However, I think I would like a new experience, not a new challenge, because I would like to say coming to Germany from Nigeria was challenging. I had to learn the language and everything, but I'm really grateful for that. It was a positive, it was a challenge, it challenged me positively, so to say. And I liked that. I liked the experience. But if maybe I had to relocate to another country, I'm not sure I would want to go to a new country where I have to learn the language again. Even though learning is fun, learning never ends. But at the end of the day, you really cannot teach an old dog a new trick. At this point,
Mhm.
I just want to live, literally,
I
right?
get,
So
yeah.
I'd rather go to a German speaking country next or an English speaking country. If I'm learning any new
Mm-hmm.
language, let it just be because I want to add it to my portfolio or I want to use it when I travel, not because I want to use it to live for the next couple of
Yeah.
years of my life. I don't know if you get my point.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I understand. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, how was the transition between finishing your master program and then because you mentioned you were working also part time. Were you already working in the
Yeah.
field
Yeah,
that
well,
you were
when I
studying
started,
in? Or...
hold on a second, please. This heater is too
Mhm.
hot. It's burning my back. Ooh. Okay, so let me go. So when I started my studies, I didn't know until 6, 7 months down the line that there's something called Werkstudentarbeit, like working student
Mhm.
jobs in your region, in your field of study,
Yes.
right? I didn't know that that was a thing. So the moment I heard about it, I cashed in on it and I started looking for jobs in that field. Thankfully, I saw lots of excellent jobs, part-time practicing jobs in marketing, and I hopped on
Mhm.
it. So I was there from 2020 up until last year when I graduated. It was last year I graduated, yes. Up until last year summer when I finished and my student contract finished. It was
Mhm.
tough to find a full-time job, but that's
Mhm.
because I was not actively searching as I should have. I was basically
Mhm.
just chilling because I had plans to go to Nigeria. I was like, okay, when I come back, I'll give gas. You get. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the transition wasn't slim. It wasn't bad in the sense that I already had previous work experience in that field. So that gave
Mhm.
me an edge when I was looking for jobs. Because one thing I've noticed about German employers is that they really don't want to train you from scratch, except you're an to be with them, like
Yes.
you're doing house building with them. But if you claim to be coming from to be even if you're an how do you call it
Einsteiger.
like Einsteiger,
Einsteiger.
right?
Mhm.
You know, if you're coming in as an Einsteiger, they're even expecting that you have some sort of practical field knowledge from
Yes.
your IT that you've done during your studies, so you're not coming empty for them to train you afresh. So
Mhm.
these opportunities that I had while I was studying to do Vex student arbeit and to do practicant internship jobs, I'm mixing
Mhm.
German and English together, you guys, I'm sorry. But that opportunity, that
Mhm.
opportunity was instrumental to my getting the job at the time that I did after
Mhm.
studies. But transitioning wasn't difficult for me at all.
Okay. So,
But
do you think
getting a job is not easy in Germany. That's a reality. So
really?
yeah, I
Why?
thought
Why
to
would
put
you
that
say
out
that
there.
though? Because, like, from hearing you speak, you pretty much understand and speak German. Yeah,
Yeah,
or
I
maybe
do.
not like a native speaker, but I mean, it's
Yeah,
you speak German in a
I get by.
professional, yeah, in a
I get
professional level.
by.
So, why would you say getting a job was is difficult in Germany?
The reality is that there is so much competition,
Mm-hmm.
especially maybe because it's my field. But in
Mm-hmm.
marketing, there is a tough competition. Almost everybody can work in marketing. You don't need a degree. That's the funny thing about marketing. It's too
Mm-hmm.
saturated. That's one. Then, even from the scope of others who I even know, like the reality, the honest truth is that as
Let
a
me quickly
foreigner,
add. Mhm.
okay,
Would you say it's difficult for foreigners or it's difficult in general? So you
in
just answer
general,
it.
it's difficult, but then there's something I would always say: if your counterparts are putting in 10, you're giving your life. You must you must work 100 times and more than your
Mhm.
counterparts who are Germans. Do you
Mhm.
understand my point? A
Mhm.
German would have difficulty finding a job, maybe because they're not actively searching. But if they're actively searching and they know their guns, they know their onions, they're going to get a job with the speed of light. While you, as a foreigner, you were said the truth is you would always be second on the pyramid to a German
Yeah.
if you're looking to for. Even when you've gone to the States, once there is a European or a German that has showed up and can do that job, even if it's not half as good as you can, best believe you would be sidelined and the other guy given the job. That's the sad reality. And even
Mhm.
coming from Nigeria, we see it there. There's a lot of tribalism when an Igbo person or Yoruba person will rather give their persons jobs
Yeah.
than it is what it is. So that's already something that I'm used to. I bear that in mind. And that's why when I really want something, I try to go hard. Like when I'm actively looking for jobs, I can make at least 20 applications on a daily basis. That's
Mm-hmm.
how much I go when I really want to get something right. But if I'm just casually making one application a day, best believe I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth.
I,
So
I don't know if maybe this reality have not hit me yet because of recent I was having a bit of, let me say, issues with my current company, and I was like, "Ah, you know what, let me just see what's on the market, right?" I went to two, three job interviews that I felt, oh, I was qualified for it. But now when I think about it, I'm just like, if I'm really ready to leave this job, I will probably have to like, put more energy. But
you
like you
put
already
money
said,
into
it's a sad
you put a
reality.
lot of
Even though
energy.
the language is there, even though like I have work experience, I did the hospital in it. I'm backing it up now with a university degree.
Vital
Like
build on
I get the parts where you are coming from. Okay, now does this now also mean that it's even more difficult if you don't speak the language?
Ah, except you're in IT.
Mm,
Except you're an IT guru, then you can get away with not speaking German in Germany. But
mm,
if even if you're not an IT guru, Sha, and you are living in an international city like Berlin, then maybe you can get away with certain things because then there are lots of companies and startups that are international and they want
mhm,
to be international by having lots of internationals there. So there's a good mix. Do you understand? But if you're in a certain, in fact, it's just like I would say it's it's more difficult for you if you cannot speak the language for you to even find jobs because your
mhm.
interviews are mostly in German, except a few, a
Fact.
selected few that are in English. But most of the interviews would be in German. Do you get? So
Fact.
not speaking German is a disservice to anybody who's looking for a job and who wants to be long term in Germany. That's the reality, sincerely speaking.
Okay, so I want to I think I've just lost my line of thoughts. Let me get
Uh,
back. Wait, okay, okay.
okay.
Mm, all right. So I wanted to say, um, how were you perceived as? Oh, let me formulate it in a different way. So, you working in a German company, right? Were there ever a time, because there's this trend of diversity, employing people from other background, just so for me personally, I feel like it's just so many that company can write, oh, we're a diverse company, or we accept anybody anywhere you're from, doesn't matter your race, your color. I just think is a kind of profiling for the company to make them look
That's
good.
true.
Has there ever
That's true.
been a situation where you felt, these people might probably just employ me just to be like, oh, we have a black person working for us?
A lot of times, yes. It's almost like you're that extra spice in the meal. You're that exotic. You understand?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is very true. Like most times, they just employ extra races just to make them look like that international company, that company that hires diverse races and everything. But the reality is that as a foreigner, you definitely would feel out of place sometimes, especially when it's out of the job environment. Because one thing I've come to understand in Germany is that if you want to thrive in the company, you do a lot of ass kissing, you do a lot of vibing with people that you don't necessarily want to vibe with. You will see yourself hanging out, sharing your pals with people that you don't necessarily want to share it with. But just because you want to be social, you want to be open, you want to be that Mitarbeiter
Mm-hmm.
that is not always on their own. You see yourself
Mm-hmm.
opening it every time that you're not in the mood for. Or
Mm-hmm.
this whole when you're not and the worst, I feel like there's I call it a cult of smokers. If you don't belong to that
Oh,
cult of smokers,
Jesus. The way you'll be cancelled, the way they will cancel you. No,
tell
you'll
me
be like,
about
wait, should I go and start smoking now? But yeah, I get.
even if you don't smoke and you chill with them, you are pardoned. But you have to be because they love you say that they're smoking, like when they are together at that point, oh, if you're chilling with them at that point, they will love you. I don't know how, but I've noticed that there's some kind of love and brotherhood they share during that moment. So if you're not one that can chill with them at those small house pause or after work shenanigans, is
Mm-hmm.
likely you're likely going to be put by the corner. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
several times I've felt that, oh, I'm just the cherry on the cake for these guys. I'm not really, I don't belong.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get, so, yeah.
Then how did you navigate that situation? Did you just like leave, or you're still like, okay, cool, I want to ascertain this, I want to get to this particular place before leaving, or do you have a conversation about it, or you just let it slide? How do you like navigate us?
Let it slide. I just go with the vibe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do more than what I can do. For example, I try to interact with people during my break period. Maybe go to where, like, the lobby where people can see you, for example, and make small talk with you, right? Or
German
try to
love
just
small talk.
small
Jesus.
unnecessary, small unnecessary talk. I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is that, like, I mean, I don't try to do too much. I don't try to force myself. It's not who I am. It's not what I like. What I love to do, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I don't, and then again, sometimes small talk in German for me, if it passes the weather and small Kleinigkeiten here and there, I'm more comfortable.
Mm,
Do you
mm.
understand? So most times they want to go beyond that, getting personal, asking about your home or asking about your country, and it makes me uncomfortable sometimes. I'm like, what do you need this information for? You're just a co-worker. You're not supposed to be asking me. These are
Mm-hmm.
like personal things, you know. They want to know
Mm-hmm.
what you studied. They want to know, even though what you studied is different, but then they almost want to know what makes you tick, so that they know where to. You
Yeah.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I
Mm-hmm.
noticed a lot of time. So I don't really give that room for that, and sometimes it's perceived as I'm not being friendly or I don't want
Yeah.
to associate with them. Frankly speaking, I don't care. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I do my job and I leave. My contract is over, I go. If you tell me, if you give me Kündigung, I leave. But
Yeah.
rest assured that I will still find another job. And even though, yeah, it can be stressful moving from one job to another, but the reality is that with the way the work culture is in Germany and everything,
Mm-hmm.
tarrying in the workplace as an immigrant, it takes the grace of God. And it also takes your ability to kiss people. Yes. So
Mm, mm, mm. Talk
that's it.
because you know why this resonates so much with me, because I'm someone that if I don't like you, I don't like you. I'm not going to force myself. And for me, this is like my third company I'm currently working for. So I would say my first company was DHL, where I did my Ausbildung als Speditionskauffrau. So I'm a freight forwarder from Beruf. So
Mhm.
I was saying in my hospital, I was a more of I go to work, I do my job, and I'm out. Don't stress me, don't disturb me. If I'm on my break, best believe I don't want to chat with you. I just want to
Like,
walk around.
don't
I
they
want
get
to
that?
sun. I want to get some sun. I want to listen to some Afro beat, some gospel music, and I'm back at my desk, and that's it. And you could see people will perceive this as you don't have interest in the work, you don't have interest in binding with your colleague, you don't feel. And in my head, I'm just like, it's a working contract. As far as I'm doing my work, why are you stressing me out? And then to go back to the ass licking part, you can, if you also the Raucher pauses stuff that you were talking about, if you go out with Germans when they are doing their Raucher pause, it's almost like there's a brotherhood gang at your back. The way they will greet you in the morning, Guten Morgen, with the energy and everything, you will feel it like,
Yeah.
people are happy today. Oh. The day you now decide I'm not going, another problem. So I think for me, I've also learned like just be yourself.
Just
Obviously,
believe.
try accommodate if it's necessary, but it takes a lot of energy for me to be like extra nice to you so you feel comfortable around me. But that I guess that's the ass licking part. Like you have to now like go
Go
beyond
out of
beyond
your way. Go out
yeah,
of your
just to
comfort
make them
zone.
feel. Mhm.
Nah, nah, like already for the rauking part, for the smoking part, already like I've had to deal with being in an office where an office of 6 persons, everybody vapes. Like, what is it?
See, let me medemish.
I've turned to
That's
a
me.
passive smoker. I have turned to a passive smoker because of working in this country. Everybody, I even during meetings, I say, waiting with this. Like, I don't
And
know. It's
they don't see
crazy.
a problem with it.
They don't see a problem with it. Old, young, man, woman, Do you understand? Then they now is when they want to now smoke, they now go outside of the office to smoke. But the truth is that in my mind, I'm like, I already deal with this thingy in the office, right? So I'm a passive smoker by association. I don't necessarily have to be outside with you guys. So because if it was a case whereby I wanted to really make trouble or make them uncomfortable, I would say I don't condone smoking. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
people will frown your face. When I'm done with my job, I go home. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want that. Do you understand? So I just
It's
like,
just, it would just
allow
bring
them.
unnecessary
Do you
problems and just
get? Do you
commotion
get?
that you don't need,
That's just
right?
the reality. So at times like that, you will just pick your battles.
See.
Pick your battles wisely. So yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. So talking about co-workers and let's just infuse friendship. Are your co-workers your friends? Have
Nope.
you
Nope.
that was answered really fast. So you don't have any co-workers maybe from one of your company that is not like a good friend of yours. So
Mm-mm.
that's a blunted no. So then how do you not make
No.
friendship? How do you not get to meet
I
people? How do
don't.
you
My friends, my work is my colleagues are my colleague. They are my colleague. They're not my
Mhm,
family. They're not my brother and my sister. They're not my friend.
mhm.
Jonah, I
But
just
okay,
have
but if
acquaintances.
if this was in Nigeria, would this be different?
It might be different. Might
Mm.
be. It could be different.
But
It
do
will
you
be
not think
different.
the problem? Do you not think the problem is for the Germans per se, or is just because of the cultural differences?
I think it's largely the cultural difference because it could be the same if I was in America or Canada, wherever. It would be the
Mm,
same. Probably would be the same. Do you
mm,
understand? Cultural differences. But in
mm,
Nigeria, so you see, they will tell you your colleague is not your friend. It happens, but I don't know. I didn't get the opportunity to do like a full time job
mm-hmm,
in Nigeria after my bachelor's degree before I traveled out.
mm-hmm. To be able
So
to like,
that's why I don't really know. As I said, it could or it couldn't. I don't know. It's a
mm-hmm,
two-way thing. But considering cultural differences, it's not just a German thing or but being outside of my home country, it's going to be difficult to make my colleague my friend. Even classmates. I think it's just two people out of my master's degree program that I talk to till today that are my friends, that I have their numbers and they have mine. Two
mm-hmm,
persons only. A German
mm-hmm,
and a Nigerian. That's like, and it's just because, and it's majorly because of the fact that, I mean, I've come to understand that these people are like, when it comes to doing stuff with you, like, it's just, for them, it's overfledged. Like,
yeah, it's more of a transitional something when they
do
can
you
gain
get,
something, they move with
do
you.
you
If they can't
understand?
gain, they just put you at the side. I get, yeah, sure. Hmm.
So
Okay,
that's
but
it.
how have you been able to like make friends? Is it more of online, church? Where like, do you even have like a friendship community in Germany? And like, how did?
Mhm. Yeah, most of my friends, I knew them before coming to Germany, or like there were people that I knew from my university days. Do you understand? And like
Mhm.
went to the same university in Nigeria and I met
Yeah.
them here. Some I met through family, some I met through friends. Some I met
Mm-hmm.
online. So it's a mix generally. It's not a one-way thing you
Mm-hmm.
get. So I have different friends from different walks of life, if I do say so myself. Like when I mean walks of life, I'm talking like people that I've met through my other friends who are here. Like I said, people I met that went to the same school with me, people I
Mm-hmm.
met online, and all of that. Even people I met in church as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
varied. It's not one way for me. I make friends anyhow, anywhere, as long as it's a mutual vibe, as long as there's a mutual connection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
So if you compare like keeping friendship, I would say at home, which is Nigeria, right? And abroad, is there like a major, is it more difficult to keep friends in the abroad or in Nigeria? Like, is there like
it's
a
even different
significant
here
difference?
for I won't say significant difference because distance still does its thing. Even
Mm-hmm.
in Germany, most of your friends, most times, they will not necessarily live around you, except the ones you maybe met in your local area, like your church, or you met online and live around you. But most of the time, realistically, your friends don't live around you, even in Germany, except you grew up for a long time here, or maybe like you, maybe you studied and you're living in the same city, you're working, you can easily. But for someone who moves from city to city, for example, it will be a problem for them. Or people that
Yeah.
just came from Germany, from Nigeria to Germany. So personally, it's the same thing. Like it's the same effort I will make to reach out to the people in the different countries. Except in this case, those who are in Germany, when there is an occasion, celebration, then we can actually physically meet up. Then it's
Yeah.
different.
Mm,
Yeah. So, but generally, there's not much difference
okay.
when it deals with communication. So,
So I wanted to ask, what has been like the most difficult part of living and thriving in Germany?
hmm, that's interesting. Still the language though. Still the language
This
because the
language,
truth
and German is
is
never
strong.
easy language. Oh.
It's strong. Like even though as an immigrant I have tried to have there's still room for improvement. But I do know that I've done a good job with integrating myself with the language,
Mhm.
such that at least if I'm in a place where they want to sell me, I will know and at least know how much they want to sell me. Do you get? But still, it still feels like sometimes there is a glass ceiling that you are still unable to penetrate. Sometimes, do you get? So that's for me because now also talking about jobs too. There are some jobs that I will see and I'll flat out not even apply for it, for example, because they'll tell you German, Muttersprache.
Mm,
How am I supposed to compete with a German applying for that job, even if I have the skills? Do you get? So it's almost like you're limited, kind of,
yeah, yeah,
because they want a mother tongue speaking, level speaking candidate or applicant for that job. So in such cases, where you don't even stand a chance because you know within your heart that you don't speak at the mother tongue level. You get so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
one aspect. Another aspect too could be with in terms of maybe even business. If you want to be a business person here, you have to like know the ins and outs of certain things, and you cannot know them without having a very deep understanding of the German language, because these things, if you have to read certain documents regarding businesses or stuff, almost except you be doing translator all the way. Do you get?
How
And then
many
even
years to translate?
do you get? So the reality is that I still feel like the language is still a challenge, it's still a
Mhm.
barrier, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
honestly doing my best. At the moment, I'm still looking for the next B2, sorry, the next B2 class to enroll in, if
Mhm.
possible, do some form of Fachliches Deutsch because I want to get better. I
Yeah.
want to be able to compete favorably with people that can even speak the so-called mother tongue level German. Do you
Mhm.
understand? I know it's going to take time, but I really do like to give myself credit. In 5 years, I know that I've achieved the feat. So I'm trying, but I know I can do better. But yeah, basically, the language is still one thing that I feel is still,
It's still like a barrier. Like
yeah.
even though I think if you're already applying for like B2 level, that means you already have like your B1. So that's a
Yes,
great milestone
I've
because
done
people.
B2. I have B2 German, but you
Mhm.
know how it said like okay, I have a certification of B1, TELC B1, but learning wise I'm a B2 level. I've learned up to B2, but I
Okay.
still want to go back
But you
to
just have
B2.
to get like this
I just want to
certificate.
like not necessarily certificate for a B2. I don't need it, but wanting to really master that level before we talk about C1 and everything. So yeah.
I don't know because if I even think about myself, that I'm like, I've been living here for like 10 years now. Practically, I went to primary school and secondary school here. I would not still categorize myself as a Muttersprachler.
But 10
Like
years? Really?
it's not because I don't know how to speak it. Like there's no German you speak for me that I will not understand or I cannot reply to you. But there's also this. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Awareness,
Yeah,
self-awareness
there's
that
also this self
I get your
consciousness
point.
that just
Yeah.
like because when you mention
Mhm.
if you see like a job application online and there are some certain requirements and you just tell yourself, oh well, I beg I cannot be bothered.
For
Next,
me,
yeah, I
yeah,
can relate. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we'll all get there. Hopefully, we'll get
it's a
there.
gradual process. Yes.
hmm Okay, let's talk about you personally. Um, since living in Germany, has there been any, like, I would say, character wise, even though I think as an adult it's difficult to like change characters and stuff, but has there been like maybe belief or character that's changed, or any perspective of yours that have changed, or do you view life in a more German way, if there's something like that? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, yeah, I get your point. I think one for me, the very first thing that hit me a month or a few weeks after I arrived was the fact that I figured out that these people actually believe that things have rules. For example, money has rules.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Like this life is simple. When you work hard, you see the results. Unlike where I'm coming from, many people believe that you just go to church and God does the work. Even the Bible tells you that faith without work is dead.
Definitely.
The Bible
Mm-hmm.
still tells that He will bless the works of your hands. But most times, people back home feel like once you spend all day in church, God does the miracle. But it doesn't work like that. When you
Mm-hmm.
pray to Him, you do the work, you see results. So coming
Yes.
here really changed my mindset that you don't necessarily have to spend the entire day in church when your work is waiting for you. Because I see many people who close their shops for days, weeks, hours because they are in church and then they expect miracle to happen. It doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
like that. But over here, they're not necessarily church goers. I mean, the number of people who go to church these days have significantly reduced, right?
Yeah.
But you can see that they are thriving, and that is because they understand the rules of success. They understand the laws of success. So basically, coming here changed my mindset that, yes, prayer is very important in the life of whoever that calls themselves Christians, which I am. I
Yeah.
like to say that I am one. So I don't, I recognize that I must pray. I have to pray to God. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I still recognize that I have to put in the work if I want to see results. So that's like one major thing that hit me when I came. And then because you'll see here, don't hear noise on Sundays. You go to church on Sunday, there are five people there. You don't do all the extracurricular things that we do back home, spiritual, even though the truth is that, like my mom would say in Igbo, he who is hungry does not go around singing hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So the point is that they who are here, like they are chilled. Do you understand? They have things that they need. Like this, like let me just put it this way. Most of the things that we pray for in Nigeria are things that
Basic
man
stuff.
like they're basic things. They are things that we should be able to have without even beating an eyelid. The
Yes.
government should provide these things because people pay taxes. But
Yes.
here, these are the basic necessities. So maybe if you're praying for, you're thanking God for life. Even here, I realized that coming here, my prayer points kind of changed. You see that you're just thanking God. You're thanking God for life, thanking Him
Mm-hmm.
for where you work, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, and praying for more blessings that He will bless the works of your hands. You're not necessarily praying for that demon that will come and plant something for you or once. Do you understand where I'm
But the
coming from?
Nepal that will come and cut your legs tomorrow.
All these type of small things that we see back home. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like that mindset really shifted a lot. Even consider it really makes me start like back home security is not even it's not even like it's not it's not as strong as it is here. You know how you go out back home and you're not even sure whether you will make it back home because of the
It's not prioritized. Don't put that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. But here you know that okay, there is a good level of social height. So you
Yes.
self protect yourself, be careful, and hoping that the other person to be careful, except things happen when they happen. But
You know, say your village people
your
don't really
your
catch you.
but if we're being realistic, like your life, how to say it, your life expectancy, abi? Is that how it's said?
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
how long you're supposed to live on earth is it's extended in the country where you don't have to worry about security this, security that, how is this one, how is that one, do I have lights, do I have food? Crazy, but yeah, you get the point. Like
I get the whole part of your prayer point has changed because there is a whole. If you're in Nigeria, you're praying for health. It's not
many
like
things.
definitely you need to pray for health here, but like you're praying for things that you can actually solve with just visiting a doctor and just find out maybe you have not been drinking enough water. Just drink water and then you'll be fine, or you just need rest and
Or
then you
just
think
drink tea.
yeah. Or go for a Spaziergang. Germans are
Yeah.
Spaziergang 5 and 6.
remember one time I went to the doctor that my eyes were hurting. The doctor was like, "Do you work with screens?" I'm like, yeah. Just always take a walk from the nature. That's we're not made to consume screens. Just spati
Mhm.
again, and you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
their first remedy is Spaziergehen and
See,
Tee and Ausschlafen.
you
Einfach
know,
rausgehen, ein bisschen spazieren und Tee und dann wettest du wieder. So, machen Sie sich keinen Kopf. Yeah. I get that whole part. But if we're also going to like dive into that really quickly, it also um comes sometimes it can also lead to neglect. So let me just quickly say, if you're feeling a type of way and your doctor is telling you spatia, you know it's spatia is not going to solve it. Maybe you should look for another doctor because sometimes because the practice is full, that is filled up sometimes, and then they'll literally just spatia again and you'll be fine. But
just to
that's
just to
as
dismiss
of
you.
the topic today. All right. So before we end this section today, so it's not over lengthy, um, I have a scenario for you. I just want you to listen and just let us know what you think about it, right?
Okay, all right.
So imagine you're an immigrant who has recently moved to Germany and you're finding it difficult to make friends. The language barrier, cultural differences, and maybe even a sense of isolation are making it challenging. What advice would you give to help someone in this situation in terms of building meaningful connection and making friends in Germany?
Hmm. Bring yourself out more often. Because
Mhm,
most times, this country can turn you into an introvert. Be more active, be involved. If it's a church around you, whether German church or an African church or an immigrant church generally, be there. Find out ways how you can serve the church one way or the other. You would see people that would, like you and want to have one or two things to do with you. And also, I mean, don't necessarily, okay, I wanted to say at school, but you don't have to force yourself on people because sometimes in school, people can be very unnice, unkind, unnice. What's that? Kelechi. People can be not nice.
mhm.
Ticket.
Where the German and English
Idea.
constantly fighting.
So crazy. Don't try to force it in that regard, maybe the school setting. Another thing too would be online. You'd be surprised to know that a lot of people make meaningful connections online, especially with all the groups. Like keep an eye out for groups where they have immigrant meetups. Like this is one I've been seeing a lot on TikTok. Black sisters in Germany. I don't know if you've seen something like that.
Yeah, I've seen their
Mm.
what's it called adverts on
Yeah,
Instagram.
they
Yeah.
hang out a lot they have in Brandenburg, Berlin, different places, Hamburg, North Rhine-Westphalia. So you can join a group like that. I mean, at this point, I'm not talking about just ladies, but for men, you can also look up stuff like that. Actively, you can send DMs,
Mm-hmm.
shoot your shots because shooting shots doesn't necessarily apply for romantic relationship. It applies to friendships with the same sexes as well. You get
Mm-hmm.
so shoot your shot. If you think you like someone's vibe online, shoot your shot. And if they like you too, the vibe is there. You can be friends, and you to try to be a good person, try to be a nice friend, and also try to be someone who can actually hold a conversation before you even reach out to people. Because some people are very poor conversationalists, like they don't know how to hold good conversations and they can bore you out quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can hold a good conversation, I'd like to think it's a good start in the right direction. Another thing too could be looking out for local groups in your area. For example, like you're from Edo, I believe that there's an Edo community of some sort in Germany where you
Mm-hmm.
guys meet up and hang out. Maybe if it's a monthly, yearly thing, try to be available at such gatherings because then you will meet new people, make new connections, and you will click. Left for me, in my opinion, you don't need a lot of friends. If you have one, two, three persons that you can check up on once in a while, they can check up on you. When you're doing stuff, they can come around, and when you're doing stuff, you can go around. I think that's enough. You don't need so much in your corner, to be honest. So yeah, these are
Thank you.
my 2 cents. You're
Dankeschön,
welcome.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön. So we
It's
want to quickly test your German, yeah. Before we go, let's just test your German skills. So I'm going to give
okay.
you a sentence in English, and then you just translate it to German the best possible way you can, right?
Okay.
Okay. I can't believe how delicious this food is here. I think I'm going to eat it all day long.
I can't believe how delicious this food tastes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to eat it all day long.
Yes.
Kann nicht glauben, wie lecker das Essen schmeckt. Oder wie lecker schmeckt es. Nee, ich kann nicht glauben, wie lecker das Essen schmeckt. Ich kann das den ganzen Tag essen.
Oh wow, that was good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was nice. That was really correct. Actually, even like the article and everything. See, very soon you'll be giving us German lessons, private German school.
Always.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming on the
Yeah, it was a
channel. We really
pleasure.
appreciate. Thanks for your 2 cents. Your presence means a lot. And yeah, guys,
Pleasure.
follow Kelechi on YouTube, on Instagram, follow her socials. She talks about relocation to Germany, shares her 2 cents, like she would say, about Germany life and living in Germany. And I'm very sure her content is definitely something for you guys. If you're watching my content, then definitely her content like is advanced level of my own. So make sure you
Mhm.
follow her on YouTube. And
Thank
yeah, thanks
you.
for watching. I'll see you guys on. And before we leave, do you want to say anything? Anything you want to sign out before I sign out?
Oh, really? Just thank you guys for watching. And yeah, it was fun being here. Thank you for having me.
All right. See you guys on my next video. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. End
Nice.
recording.
I have a
Okay.
life. I have a life tomorrow.
Mhm.
I have a live tomorrow with three of my with three of my content creators.